Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you're tuning in from. So, welcome to the What's New in IB Assessments powered by AssessPrep webinar. Um, while we just give it a few more seconds for people to join, if you could use the chat icon at the bottom of your screen and tell us where you are tuning in from in the world, it'll be great to see. South Korea, nice. Istanbul, Turkey, South Korea again, Lebanon, Jordan. Wow. Georgia, India, Indonesia, Norway, Madrid, Spain. Wow, we've got quite a few all over the world. Yeah, Ohio, Hawaii, India again, Sweden. Nice, nice. Got Spain, Jordan. We've got quite a few people joining from Jordan. Okay. Azerbaijan, Netherlands, Serbia. That's great to see. Sure. So while we just give it a few more seconds, I'll just be going over some housekeeping rules. So, first of all the cameras and audios will be muted for this webinar. If you have any technical difficulties, 9 times out of 10, you just try logging off and joining back again. That does the trick. And also not to remember that the webinar will be sent to you. The recording will be sent to you after the webinar. So even if you miss out any information, don't worry, we'll send out the recording to you. Additionally, we will have a Q&A session, so you can submit your questions using the Q&A icon at the bottom of your screen. We will also have polls during the webinar. And finally, if you could post on social media your thoughts and insights using the hashtag AssessPrepWebinar, that would be amazing. Thank you. So today, I'm just Shan Ransby-Harry, marketing exec at ManageBack. I'll just be ensuring that the webinar is running smoothly from a technical aspect. Karan Gupta will be leading the webinar, who's the co-founder of AssessPrep, and Lakshay Sachdeva will be mandating the chat. Also, just to give a reminder, this is not an official IB presentation, and if you consult my IB for the most up-to-date information. So now we'll have a little bit of a poll. So just to break the ice, I'll launch the first poll. So if everyone could take a quick second and fill that in, that would be amazing. Launching right now. Give it a few seconds for everyone to answer. Give it one more minute. Yep, I think that's fine. I think we can end the poll now. Thanks, everyone. That's great. Over to you, Karan.
Thank you, Jashan. Hello, everyone. I'm Karan. I'm the co-founder of AssessPrep. And before we dive into this, I just wanted to talk about the goal or the vision that we have with AssessPrep. So the vision is simple. We want to help teachers create more engaging and effective assessments while they're saving time and effort throughout the assessment cycle. So AssessPrep is something that would help you save time and effort while you're creating, grading, or analyzing assessments, and that's our goal. And because if I talk about the agenda today, it's mostly about how AssessPrep, some of our latest updates, and how we are helping schools uh, support their MYP and DP assessments. So I'll be talking about the question bank updates. I'll be talking about the exciting features that we've come up with AssessPrep AI, the new question types that we've launched, how you can generate task-specific clarifications using AI, and then the most exciting feature, how you can grade not only typed, but even handwritten submissions with AI and the new modes that we now offer. We'll also be talking about some of the new testing accommodations that we offer, like text to speech and speech to text. The new feature that we are most excited about is peer assessments, where the students will be able to review each other's work. So I will be showing that. I'll also be talking about analytics and how you would be able to analyze the student submissions based on the curriculum standards and identify the learning gaps, or understand how you can then kind of just tailor your teaching as per the analytics that you get from the assessments. Finally, I'll be talking about if your school has other curriculums except the IB, MYP, or DP, how you can tag your assessments and your questions using the library of 600 plus curriculum standards that we now offer within AssessPrep. Before I dive into this, I'll just give you a very brief introduction of what AssessPrep is, because I could see from the poll there are some uh, participants who've never used AssessPrep. So I'll just give you a brief introduction of what AssessPrep is. So AssessPrep is basically an end-to-end assessment platform that helps you create, deliver, monitor, and grade assessments. And now, in the next few months, you'll also be able to effectively analyze those assessments. So when I talk about creation, there are basically three ways of creating assessments. We have 10 plus content types and question types, so you can create your assessments from scratch. We offer an extensive question bank for MYP and DP, and we also offer AssessPrep AI, which can help you generate curriculum-aligned questions using AI. Once you've created these assessments, you now have the ability to deliver these assessments either on screen using the secure lockdown app that we offer, or you can also export this assessment to a PDF where the students can take it on pen and paper. Finally, while the students are taking the assessment, you can monitor and see exactly what each student is doing. You can monitor their progress in real time. You can communicate with them. And this is where the testing accommodations come in. And once the students come back, the submissions come back, you can grade, annotate, and assign feedback. And then we have the grading with AI feature, where you would be able to not only grade typed answers, but also grade handwritten submissions. And all of this works within your ManageBack account. So we offer a very deep integration with ManageBack. If your school wants to use AssessPrep, what we offer is a one-click setup. What that means is all your school settings, users, classes, all sync in to AssessPrep, and they always remain in sync. There's a single sign-on, so you can use your ManageBack credentials to sign into AssessPrep. And finally, all your grades move back into your ManageBack gradebook, and the report cards are generated within ManageBack. So if I talk about the latest updates and what we are doing, so we wanted to offer teachers multiple ways to create a more engaging and effective assessment, also allowing students to express themselves in multiple ways. So we offer now 10 plus content types. Most requested feature from some of the schools which are using AssessPrep for MYP was if they can embed entire websites into AssessPrep. So sometimes we want the students to refer to a website while they're taking the assessment. We have now launched an embed feature where you would be able to embed entire websites, and only that website would be accessible to the student while they're taking the exam. For schools which are more Google schools, we have also now embedded Google Docs and Google Slides, and wherein what you would be able to do is you would be able to embed these, and the students will be able to refer to those and answer questions. Obviously, we offer multiple question types like long answer, true and false, fill in the blanks, classify, all these interactive questions, GeoGebra graphing. We've come up with a new question type, which is file upload, where the students will be able to upload any file, and then you would be able to grade that file submission all within AssessPrep. So these are the different kind of built-in tools that we offer, and you can use these to either tailor the pre-existing assessments, or you can create new assessments from scratch. If I talk about our question bank updates, so for the MYP, we offer over 400 assessments with 10,000 plus questions with solutions or mark schemes attached in now 15 different subjects. We have expanded this bank from 300 to 400. We have introduced new subjects like interdisciplinary learning, Obviously, it includes all other subjects from mathematics, integrated humanities, English language and literature, language acquisition, German, Spanish, French, and Hindi. The aim is to keep expanding this bank to offer teachers high quality resources. These have been created by IBMYP examiners, and we want to expand more subjects and more assessments in these subjects. So now there are assessments from MYP1 to MYP5, ranging from summatives, but also topic-wise assessments or formatives that you can use with your students. If I come on to the DP question bank, so this is the big update here. Now we've expanded our DP bank to 15 of the most popular subjects with 20,000 questions with solutions. This includes maths, both AA and AI, there's psychology, economics, business management. We have the new sciences and we have full assessments, but we also have topic-wise assessments. We have ESS, which includes the new ESS HL for 2026. And then we have English, Langenlit, English Language B, Spanish. So all of these different subjects, global politics is now available, and we plan to expand it to new subjects like history and computer science in the coming months. But the aim is to give teachers a bank of high quality assessments that they can quickly pick questions from and build their bank. Now, before I come on to the AI teachers, let's do a poll and understand your viewpoint on how you use AI in the classroom and how excited are you about AI. So over to you, Justin.
Thank you. I'll be launching that right now.
So I can read out the question. How excited are you about using AI to assist you with authoring and grading assessments? Because this is what we will be talking about in the next few slides. So I just wanted to get your opinion on it. If you are extremely excited or not excited at all, so there is a range, please choose what your take is. This would help us understand what you feel about AI if you want to use it throughout your assessment cycle. Okay, I can see the results, and a lot of people are mostly excited about using AI. So I think you would like the features that we would now show you in terms of AssessPrep AI. So the first one is, so we launched AssessPrep AI about 9 months ago, where you could author questions like long answer questions and multiple choice questions using the different IB, DP, and IB MYP parameters on the left. You could also generate solutions to those questions by simply clicking on a magic wand, and you could actually use the writing assistant to then decrease or increase the difficulty level for these questions, or just transform those questions quickly. But now the latest updates with AssessPrep AI is now we are offering 4 new question types, because we were only offering long answer and multiple choice. Now, what you would be able to do is you would be able to generate true, false, match the following, classify, and complete tasks on AssessPrep. So this is something that you will soon see within your AssessPrep AI accounts if you are already subscribed to AssessPrep AI. So if I show you how this works within AssessPrep, you can see you have the program, the subject, and the grade level. What you can do is you can put in a source. So this can be a text, image, or a PDF source, which it would be able to analyze. So it can be a case study, let's say in business management, or it could be, let's say, a diagram or a flowchart that you want the AI to analyze, or maybe your lesson plan. And you can put that as a PDF into AssessPrep, and then you can choose the different question types. Obviously, long answer and multiple choice was always there, but now you have 4 more question types. There's true and false, there's classify, match, and you can generate entire tasks now using this. So if I come on to classify, I can choose my different criteria. So this is showing me MYP criteria. But if it was DP, then you would see DP specific parameters on the left. So you would see the syllabus topics, the command terms for DP, the paper level, the teaching level. So you could choose any one of those, and then you could generate these questions. So I can just generate, I can just choose And let's say I want to generate a question on atoms. I can put that here and I can click on generate, and it would analyze all of this, and it would just generate a classify based question on the basis of this. So classify the following elements based on the properties as metals, non-metals, or metalloids. If I like the question, I can simply click on add and add that question. Or I can also click on generate more. I can put more specific instructions here, or I can choose the different criteria and parameters, and then I can generate more questions for my test. What I can also do here is I would also be able to, if I have a question that's already generated, I can just simply click on the edit icon, and I can click on include teacher explanation and simply click on and the magic wand, and it would generate the solution for the question that I've added to my test. And if I want, I can then change the question or transform it. I don't have to use it as it is. Now, if I come on to the next update that we have with AI, is a lot of schools are using AssessPrep not only in the English language, they would want to use AssessPrep for different languages. And here we've come up with a new feature where you would be able to now select language while you're generating a question, or you can just translate the existing questions into different languages. So this would help you create multilingual assessments, and you can ensure that the content is accessible to the different kind of learners that you have, no matter their language. If I show you how this would work, what you can do is either if you're trying to generate a question, you can just choose the language. So if I want to generate a question in French, let's say it's a multiple choice question. Again, on atoms, what I can just simply do is select the different parameters and simply click on generate, and it would be able to generate a question on in the language that I've selected in French. I can simply add that question to my test. If I've added a question from the pre-existing library for DP or MYP, what I can also do is I can just translate that question into another language. So I can use the writing assistant and just choose translate, and I can translate it into another language. So if you want to use the pre-existing questions in another language, or if you want to add new questions and generate questions using AI in another language, what you can do is you can use the language selector and do that now on AssessPrep. This is very, very specific to MYP. So one of the things that takes teachers most amount of time while they're creating the assessment is to generate task-specific clarifications for that assessment. So we had launched a feature recently where you could add a task-specific clarification to your test, but you had to manually then create that task-specific clarification based on the content of the task or the assessment that you've created. And it used to take teachers a lot of time to do that. Now, what you would be able to do, and this is something that a lot of teachers who I've spoken to are most excited about, is now what you would be able to do is just generate the task-specific clarification using AI. So how you could do that on AssessPrep is if you have you have questions, you just click on edit, and here you can tag every question with the relevant strand. Once you've done that, and you've done that for your entire test, then what you would see is you would see an add task specific clarification button on the top right. Here you would see the default level descriptors for this test, but you would also see a button now which says generate TSC with AI, the task specific clarification using AI. Once you click on this, what it would do is it would take the question content into consideration, which are tagged to these specific strands, and it would be able to generate a task specific clarification for you. So it is taking the question text, which is the carbon atom, if you can see that, and it is generating a task specific clarification. You can just simply edit it if you think there is some inaccuracy, but it still saves you so much time. And then you can simply add it to your test. Now, this task specific clarification would be visible to the students while they're taking the test, and it would also be visible to the teachers while they're grading the assessment. So this is specifically for the MYP. One of the features that was most requested in terms of teachers who have a lot of resources in the form of PDFs or Google Docs, and they want to now convert these resources into AssessPrep online assessments, and it used to take them a lot of time. to manually input those questions, those MCQ multiple choice questions or long answer questions into AssessPrep. Now, what you will be able to do on AssessPrep is you can just upload your PDF and then click on extract questions from this PDF. And you'll be able to extract your multiple choice or long answer questions and immediately. And you can save hours of manual work. So this is something that's coming up. We've already opened it for a few schools. We'll be opening up for all schools. So it's a gradual rollout that we're doing for all schools, which are subscribed to the AssessPrep AI plan. The next feature, once the students, so there are three ways of creating assessments, obviously, on AssessPrep. The first one was, obviously, you can use the built-in tools to create your assessment. The second is you can use the extensive question bank that we offer for the MYP and DP. And the third method is you could use AI to generate questions or use your PDFs and just manually import those questions, like using AI, just extract those questions from the PDF. Once you've created those assessments, then the students can take it either on screen or you can export it in the form of a PDF and the students can take it on pen and paper. Now, while the students are taking the assessment, we wanted to give the students a genuine next generation experience. So there are a lot of tools that we already had on AssessPrep where you could enable an on-screen calculator, spell check, you could add extra time, you could communicate with the students using the monitor tab. But the schools were asking us for text to speech and speech to text for students with special needs. And now you now have a granular control in the monitor tab where you will be able to enable, disable text to speech to text, add extra time, on-screen calculator or spell check for each student through the monitor tab. So this is something that's new, and this would be available for all schools which are subscribed to AssessPrep in all plans, actually. Now, the most exciting feature, when I show a demo of AssessPrep to any school, this is one of the features that schools are most excited about, which is AI-powered grading. This has been there for quite some time. We're improving on its ability to grade, and it's pretty accurate for most of the subjects. But now what you would be able to do, and this is something that a lot of schools are using it for, is the ability to grade handwritten submissions as well. Wherein if a student uploads or if a teacher creates a handwritten submission, so you're doing your assessment on pen and paper, you're using AssessPrep to create, grade, and analyze assessments, but the students are still doing the assessments on pen and paper, you would be able to use AssessPrep AI to grade not only typed answers, but also handwritten submissions. And now we have included 3 new customizable grading modes, which is lenient, moderate, and strict. So depending on what your assessment needs are and what is your preferred mode of grading, you can use any of these 3 modes and grade the students' answers. So if I show you an assessment where you would be able to grade student answers using AI, you just go on to the grading tab. If the student has written a typed answer and if you've included a solution or a mark scheme to the question, you can simply choose your desired mode of grading, and you can simply click on grade with AI. It would automatically analyze the student's answer, and it would be able to assign points and feedback in the student's answer. You can simply click on use this. If you do not agree with the feedback, you can obviously edit it manually, or you can use the writing assistant to edit the feedback as well. The new thing that we have launched, or we made better, is not only these 3 grading modes, but also the ability to grade handwritten submissions. So if you just simply click on grade with AI, it would be able to analyze the student's handwriting, and it would be able to assign feedback and grades to the students. So this is how this would work. The aim is so that even if you do not want to get technology in the classroom, and if you want to do pen and paper tests or on-screen exams, we should be able to support you in creating high-quality assessments using the bank or using the tools that we offer. And then maybe the students are taking the assessment on pen and paper, but you still should be able to grade those assessments quickly and save time while you're grading. And then because you've tagged every question, you should be able to analyze those assessments as well. If I come on to the next update that we have, this is peer assessments, wherein now the students would be able to review and provide feedback on each other's work. So this is something, this is a new form of assessment wherein the students can review each other's work. This promotes critical thinking and knowledge sharing. It also promotes student agency. It's a great way for the students to learn from each other, from their peers, and it also helps them reflect on their own understanding. So how this would work is in the delivery settings, you would be able to choose if you want this assessment to be peer reviewed, and you will be able to assign students manually or automatically onto each submission. And when then the students would be able to see and would be able to grade each other's work, and you can see or review what the grades students have given. And then the students can obviously see the grades that their peers have given. So this is something that's coming up in November. And this is now, if I come on to analytics, and this is something that the schools have been asking us for, we know that the real value of an assessment lies in understanding where the learning gaps are. So the analytics tool will give you detailed insights into the student performance, not only at the question level, but because you're able to tag each question with the relevant syllabus topic or the curriculum standard, you will be able to analyze or identify where the learning gaps are, um, because you're able to tag every question with the specific syllabus topic and curriculum standard. You would be able to analyze question performance, and you would be able to spot common misconceptions. Also, you'll be able to see a summary and see the average score, the highest, the lowest score, and how the students are distributed throughout the assessment. So this is something that's coming up in November, and this will be open. So we are doing a gradual rollout for the analytics as well, and you will be able to identify and then inform your teaching accordingly. So you can use AssessPrep for your formatives, and then just inform your teaching as per the analytics that you get. Finally, for schools which are using AssessPrep for other curriculums or schools that follow multiple curricula alongside the IB, we offer built-in support of over 600 national and international curriculum standards. What that means is even if you are, let's say, teaching MYP, but you also have to follow your national curriculum standards or DP, or you have, let's say, the IGCSE program in your school and you want to use assessment for that, you would be able to tag every question with the curriculum standards. These would be built into AssessPrep. You can just tag every assessment with those curriculum standards. And then you would obviously be able to get detailed insights into student performance based on those curriculum standards. Now, let's if there are any questions so far about whatever I've shown you within AssessPrep, please feel free to put them in the chat box, and then Lakshay would help me pose those questions to me, and I can answer those questions about AssessPrep.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Karan. We've got so many questions coming in. I'm trying to answer all of them as early as I can, but I'll float some of them which would benefit the wider audience as well. So Diala asks a question, does it work with Arabic as well? So is basically the AI creation, does that work for Arabic language?
Yes, it does. What you would be able to do on AssessPrep is if you're generating questions, you can generate it in any, we have given about 15 to 20 languages. We keep adding languages to that, but you can any which ways translate it to any language. Arabic is one of the default languages that we offer within AssessPrep. So you can see, you can generate questions for Arabic as well.
An extension to that, thank you. An extension to that, Bishlana asks, is it possible to translate the questions that I've created in other languages?
Yes. So if you created a question, any content that you've added to AssessPrep, you can use the writing assistant and you can translate it to any language, including Arabic or any other language that you want. And these can be questions
Amazing.
from the library or the questions that you added on your own.
Perfect. And then we've got a question from Dion. We have an SSF subscription, but for the DP, we don't have AI features. So I've already responded saying that we'd love to explore that with your school. And if your school is also in the similar boat where you don't have AI features enabled, please feel free to schedule a call with us or reach out to us at support@assessprep.com. We'll be happy to enable that for your school and discuss how we can enable the AI functionality. Another question here, do the students have the option to translate a question during the test?
No, the student would not be able to translate. a question during the test. If you're doing a browser-based assessment, there are certain tools that help you do that. But as AssessPrep, we have not launched that functionality where the student has this ability. As a teacher, you can probably create a differentiated exam or create a duplicate of that exam and translate it to another language and assign it to the student. But right now, this functionality is only available for the teachers. Also, what we are doing with our AI features is we are first giving that control over AI only to the teachers. So it's only available for the teachers to use, but not for the students at the moment.
Thank you. Renata asks, thank you for the great job. So they're thanking you for the efforts, Karan. But does this support Czech language?
Yes, you can actually translate anything into another language. I What we can do is we can add it to the default language, but if you want to translate it into Czech, you can just do that. We'll probably add Czech into the default languages that we offer, but you can use the writing assistant to do that any which ways.
Awesome. And there's a question for me, so I'll read it out. Thanks a lot, Lakshay. I have a question. If we purchase AssessPrep for MYP, we already use it for DP. Do we have to pay per student or pay per subject? So I'll answer that question out loud. So AssessPrep subscriptions are annual subscriptions based on the number of students. So we don't charge basis the number of subjects or parents or teacher accounts that you have. It's only tied to the number of students. So if your school already uses AssessPrep for a section of your school, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to put together a quotation for you. The benefit of that is that the cost goes drastically down if you're already subscribed. The more the students, the lower the per student cost. So if your school is already subscribed, please reach out to us and we'll be happy to put together a quotation for you. All right. There's a question from John. He says, can we access all of this information on the ManageBack website? I believe they're referring to the ManageBack integration, Karan.
Yes. So AssessPrep works, all of this works from within ManagePack. And that's the best part about AssessPrep. So you can actually link your AssessPrep assessments to your ManagePack tasks. And the students would be able to start their assessments from within ManagePack, and their final grades and scores move back into your ManagePack gradebook. So you do not have to get into that manual effort of entering those grades into ManagePack. It works AssessPrep works within ManagePack. So your roster information comes from ManagePack and your grades move back into ManagePack. So it works very well in the ManagePack framework.
All right. Next question is from Sandra. I teach Spanish, language acquisition, and literature. If I want an oral response from the student in one of my questions, can AssessPrep support that?
Yes. So this is one of the question types that we offer, wherein you would be able to add an audio-based question, and the students can record their audio while they're taking the test. We also offer video. So if you want the students to be able to record their video while you're taking the test, you can do that. So you can support speaking-based exams, but you can also, if you want to include audio files, where the students can listen to it, and this is very, very useful for language acquisition, you can also add an audio-based question where the students will be able to listen to the audio and then respond to the question. So both ways it's possible. Speaking and listening based tests are possible for language acquisition on AssessPrep.
All right. Thank you, Karan. Also looking at another question from Sandra. Did you try AssessPrep with other platforms like PowerSchool?
So yes, we would offer a rostering integration with PowerSchool and OneRoster. So we already offer that. So if you have PowerSchool as your student information system, you can just provide us the export in the OneRoster format, and you can start using AssessPrep. So it will always remain in sync. We're working on the gradebook sync with PowerSchool, but right now you can start using AssessPrep with the rostering sync, and it's a one-click setup for your school then. And
Awesome.
not only PowerSchool, we would offer it for a lot of other student information systems as well. Wherein if you use something other than PowerSchool in your school as your SIS, you would be able to send us your rostering information into AssessPrep.
Thank you, Karan. Now looking at questions from the Q&A section, how does AssessPrep deal with bad handwriting? Do you want to answer that one?
Yes, so this is something that we've tried multiple times. with the AssessPrep grading with AI, you can actually, if it's an assessment that's written in English within the Latin script, and even if it's really bad handwriting that I am not able to read or no human would be able to read, the AI is still somehow able to understand that handwriting and grade it. And this is something that we've tried. So I think it's better in some ways, and it's able to understand the student's handwriting, even if I'm not able to, and it's able to grade it. So it works actually better than um, humans in that aspect, and it's surprising that it's able to do that.
Awesome. There's a question from Elizabeth here. May I please ask, how can I find past questions from any exam on the library that we have already created? Kindly advise on how we can do that.
So I think what you mean by the question is if you've created an assessment on AssessPrep, it all goes into the school library, and then you can use the filters on the right and filter those questions and add those questions into your test. So you can see all the assessments, and there is an add from library button. So everything that you add into AssessPrep goes into a centralized content repository for your school, and then you can use the various filters on the right, so specific to the curricula, and then you can add the entire section or question into your assessment. Or if you've added authored that question, you can obviously uh, filter those questions by author as well. So it will be easier for you to find that question. If the question was about, I think this is what the question was about. I think I've been able to answer the question.
All right, thank you. There's a question from Nov. Apologies if I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Can we add the task-specific clarification after we've created the exam and did not choose the criteria when setting up the exam, or do we need to recreate it?
So the task specific clarification, if you've not actually, the students have not submitted the exam, then you can edit anything in the exam. You would obviously have to choose the criteria and the strand for every question for us to understand for us to create this grid where you would be able to generate the task specific clarification. So you would have to choose the criteria and strands. If the students have not submitted it, you have the ability to quickly edit and tag every question with the relevant strand. But you need to do that to be able to generate the task specific clarification.
Awesome. We've got another question here. We offer common core standards at our school. Can we generate questions aligned with our standards?
Yes. So because of the library that we offer of over 600, Common Core is one of them. And I think it includes most of the other curriculum standards in the world. So once you, when you're creating the assessment, you actually choose Common Core and tag, then you would be able to see. So I can actually show that to you. So if you come into my assessments and you click on create and you choose, let's say, a high school, and you click on add standard set, here you would be able to choose, let's say I want to create questions on the Common Core standards, and I can choose the content area, let's say mathematics, and the grade level. And I can just simply click on add. Now these standards are added to my test. And now if I click on generate with AI, I would see these different curriculum standards there, and I can generate questions on the basis of these curriculum standards. So if I click on generate with AI, I would be able to see the curriculum standards over here, and I can generate questions on the basis of these curriculum standards.
All right, moving on, we've got quite a lot of questions. Aizal asks a couple of questions. Individual student progress can be monitored, right? I believe they're referring to analytics, Karan.
Yes. Through the analytics, obviously, you can see, I think it's probably referring to the monitor tab as well. You can see exactly what each student is doing during the exam. And you can also see through the analytics how each student is doing throughout the assessment. What we're working on is to be able to show you how the student has performed throughout the year. And that is something that is coming up in the first quarter of next year. But for a single assessment, you can see analytics per student, for the entire class, for each class, for the curriculum standards, and for the questions that you asked. So all of these different options are possible.
Thank you. Another question from Isa. Are there any big differences between AssessPrep and IB on-screen examination interface?
Uh, in terms of MYP, if you're talking about MYP, I'm not sure what you're referring to. In terms of MYP, it's pretty
She
similar,
says
and we
yes.
offer this. Yes, so there are not much differences there. We offer a few more tools than what the IB offers, but we offer the same um, maths type equation editor, the similar kind of tools that you would need to take an MYP. You can actually recreate an MYP assessment exam on AssessPrep because we offer the same built-in tools in terms of the question types and the content types that we offer on AssessPrep. And while the student is taking the assessment, it's pretty similar in terms of the interface while the student is taking the assessment. So they are prepared for the final assessments, the final year assessments as well.
Awesome, thank you. Another question from Sandra Ruiz. Is there a good question bank for a library for Spanish language? I noticed that it's hard to find resources for that. I'm creating exam tasks in ManagePack. I haven't explored AssessPrep yet.
For MYP, we offer Spanish as one of the languages in terms of there are a lot of assessments for all the three levels: capable, emergent, and proficient. Even for DP, we offer assessments for Spanish language acquisition. If this is something that you were referring to, yes, there are a lot of assessments that are there, and we're expanding this bank to include more and more questions for the teachers and for Spanish as well.
All right, jumping back to the Q&A. Can teachers change or add criteria for assessments after submissions for the purposes of research and data analysis?
Can you repeat that question? Sorry.
Can teachers change or add criteria for assessments after submissions for the purposes of research and data analysis?
Not right now. At the moment, if once the assessment has been submitted, you cannot change the criteria. What we are coming up with, because with the grading with AI, sometimes teachers want to change the mark scheme or the explanation that they've added so that it's able to grade the student submission more effectively. So that is something that you would be able to do um, in the next month. Right now, you can't change the criteria for the question that you've added once you've received the submissions, but you would be able to change the teacher explanation or the mark scheme that you've added, so the grading with AI works more effectively.
Thank you. Eric asks, how can we use the graphing tools to draw graphs on AssessPrep?
So what we offer on AssessPrep are two kinds of graphing tools. One is called GeoGebra, and the other one is called Desmos graphing. These are two very advanced graphing, one of the most advanced graphing tools available in the world. And this is just integrated into AssessPrep, and you can use to create graphing-based questions on AssessPrep. So if you want to choose GeoGebra, which offers a more these tools where you can click on these tools and create all kinds of geometrical or graphical figures, or if you want to use Desmos, which is more for advanced mathematics, wherein you would be able to type in the equations and then those equations would be plotted on the graph. You can use either of these, and you can do regression analysis and different kinds of more advanced mathematics. And depending on your needs, you can use either of the two on AssessPrep.
All right. I don't think, Karan, you're going to get any time to drink even a sip of water. Another question here from Dion. Does AssessPrep support adaptive assessment similar to what we might be offering at NWEA MAP, for example, where you can determine the level of a student in a specific subject area?
So right now you can create your NWEA or MAP assessments on AssessPrep. We do not offer adaptive assessments in a way that the question that the student would see would be dependent on how the student has done the previous questions, but obviously you would get a lot of analytics. What we are also we can determine, because there are so many students, we can determine the level of the question based on how other students have answered it, and we can actually assign the difficulty level onto that question. But we've not still made it adaptive. That is something that is on our product roadmap. But it's not truly adaptive in the way that the student would see a different question based on how they've answered the previous questions. No, that's not possible at the moment.
All right. Another one here. We are really looking forward to the peer review functionality. Can you please enable it for us?
Yes, so that is something that is coming in November, and we would open it up for all the schools which are subscribed to AssessPrep. We are pretty excited about peer review. I think this is something which gives students a different kind of understanding of how they've answered a certain question. So once it's available, we will reach out to you and we will inform the school that this is now available, and we would love if you have any feedback. So that we can improve and just include that feedback into our product.
Thank you. There are a lot of questions specific to certain question types. So I've already responded to all of them, requesting to schedule a call with us. We'd be happy to take your questions more in detail. For the purposes of this call, we can only answer questions that would be able to answer during the webinar. There's another question here from Tagreed. They say, is there a capability to change the screen color according to students' needs? And are there any other student accommodations?
So this only student accommodations we are offering at the moment is text to speech, speech to text, adding extra time for each student, the ability to then communicate with the students in real time if they're facing any issues during the examination, a spell check, and on-screen calculators. What what is coming up is the ability to change the font, where the student will be able to change the font into more dyslexia friendly font, and the ability to change the contrast. So these are two things that are coming up soon, but it's not there on assessment at the moment.
Thank you, Karan. There are heaps of questions coming in requesting to enable the AI functionality. So I'm going to answer that question again. If your school already uses AssessPrep and is interested in upgrading and using the AI functionality, please reach out to us at support@assessprep.com. We'd be happy to enable the functionality and have discussions with you on how we can move forward with that subscription. All right. Another question here. Thank you for the great webinar. How many DP subjects are covered regarding the question bank availability?
Right now, 15. I can show you what those 15 uh, are, what those 15 subjects are, but we are increasing the bank to include more subjects. So if I open the DP bank, so there is economics, environmental systems and societies, there is geography, global politics, psychology, business management, English language B, Spanish B, French B, English language A, both the mathematics, and then we also have the 3 sciences. We will include other subjects like computer science, regional societies, history soon into this bank.
All right. Diara asks, can teachers moderate a student's exam and add a comment on his specific work and mark level in a different feedback box?
I think the
I
question
think they're
means that
referring to personal chat with a student during the test.
That's probably not possible. What you can do right now on AssessPrep is you could grade the student submission and annotate on the student answer. If that is what the question refers to, yes, that is possible. So if you can come onto the grading, you would be able to see the student's answer, be it a handwritten submission or a typed answer, and you can actually annotate on the student's answer or annotate on their handwritten submission, or you can also give detailed feedback on the student's answer. So these are the things that are possible. But I don't know what that question refers to exactly, but this is what is possible at the moment.
I would just build on that and say during the assessment, while the students are taking the assessment, if they have any questions, they can always chat with the invigilator. So that functionality is available. Another question here, are the DP questions AI generated? I believe they are referring to the question bank, Karan.
No, none of the questions in the bank is AI generated at the moment. All of the questions are created by IBDP examiners in the bank that we offer. And these have been vetted by our internal team, but all of them have been created by IBDP examiners. And these are very, very similar to the official assessments of the past year papers that you see. in terms of the format and the difficulty level.
All right. Jennifer asks, what does peer assessment look like? So Jennifer, we'd love to show you that, and a bunch of other questions are coming along just on specific features. We'd love to show you all of that. Please feel free to schedule a demo with us. I've already sent the link to you. In case you couldn't find the link or you're unable to schedule the call, please send us an email at support@assessprep.com, and we'll be happy to answer those questions. Any plans for adding design in MYP question bank?
Yes. So one of the most requested features is, can we provide a bank for e-portfolio subjects, including design? That is something that's on our product roadmap, and we would probably extend the functionality of AssessPrep so that students can more effectively take those exams on AssessPrep and then include assessments within the bank for those subjects. So that is something that will be coming up in Q1 next year.
Thank you. Dion asks a very important question. I know the answer to this, but I'd love, Karan, for you to answer it. How is the data protected if AI features are turned on? Is there any student data used to train models, or is any data shared?
So firstly, we are not sending any personally identifiable data when you are grading or creating questions or grading student responses to the LLM. So it's just the question and the student answer and the explanation. There's no personally identifiable data that is being sent. Secondly, we are not using school data to train our models at all. And this is what is there in the privacy policy that we offer, where none of the data is being used to train the models, or is being not, and we're not also sharing any personally identifiable data with the LLMs at the moment.
Thank you, Karan. Nikos asks, can AI grade any handwritten submission for mathematical script as well?
Yes, it can. So it can analyze handwritten submission, even if you have diagrams, both including mathematics and otherwise. Obviously, we're trying to improve the ability to grade math. It's for other subjects, its accuracy is close to 90-95%. For math or physics, it's a little lower. It's about to do it very well in 80% of the cases. But the aim is over the next couple of months to be able to improve that functionality for math and physics as well.
All right. Thank you, Karan. A few questions are coming in, people explaining that they can't see the question bank functionality on their accounts. This could be tied to the subscription that you have. So if you are interested in using either of the AI features or the question bank functionality, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to enable that for your account and have a discussion with your teams on what that entails in terms of subscription increase. All right. I believe we've answered most of the questions. If there are any other questions, we're going to still keep the chat box and Q&A section open for the next couple of minutes. So please post your questions. In case you don't have any questions, we are opening up the last question of our poll, which is, what would be the next step with AssessPrep for your school? The first option being, I'd like to start a free trial. This is for schools that are currently not subscribed to AssessPrep. Second option being, I'm already a customer and is interested in upgrading or learning about the new functionality. So that goes out to all of the schools that said, we want to explore AI features, we want to explore question bank. And finally, just in case if you're not interested, we would appreciate the transparency. So please answer that as honestly as you can.
Also, if you want to reach out to us, you would be able to, if you choose this, then you would be able to, we would reach out to you automatically. You don't have to send an email to us.
Thank you
All
for
right.
joining, everyone. And we can end it from here. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your time.